Hello, everybody. This is Nazat Nawaz, and I welcome and greet everybody to our show, UW Guest at University of at FM 101.8, our radio station. I'm pleased to share that our today's guest is a bigwig in his field, Mr. Bilal Bukhari. Before we start our interaction, I would like to introduce my audience with him a bit. Mr. Bilal Bukhari has been dedicated to the field of higher education in Pakistan for more than 10 years. He has an MPhil in Management Sciences with a specialization in marketing. He has demonstrated leadership and expertise in various areas of academia, including executive administration, academics, student affairs, teaching, and pedagogy. Over the course of his career, he has taught and mentored more than 2,000 students striving for excellence and a thirst for knowledge. His well rounded professionalism is evident in his commitment to positive changes. Sir, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you very much, Nuzat, and I'm overwhelmed with your extensive kind of introduction about me. So that was so kind of you, and thank you so much for having me today.
You duly deserve it. So I suppose let us begin with our introduction, which of course will be ultimately beneficial for all those who are listening to us and who are actually all ears to our conversation. So, sir, I would like to know that what are the key factors that in fact contribute to the student success? In fact, how can educators and institutions they address these common challenges that students face? Here, I mean all those challenges, including the challenges related to motivation, academic pressure, and of course, personal well-being.
Uh, an excellent question to start with, Nuzat. Thank you so much for bringing this up. Uh, I would like to start from the perception of the student success. What is student success? And is it merely academic excellence or is it beyond something competition? Are we really open to learn, unlearn, and relearn? And do we actually believe in the concept of classrooms without walls and boundaries? So it's an interesting topic to explore, but I'll start answering your question now. That student success can be defined as a holistic achievement of academic, personal, and developmental goals by a student, encompassing not only academic accomplishments but also acquisition of critical life skills, professional growth, personal growth, well-being, and actually the realization of their unique skills and their potential. So it is marked as by the attainment of knowledge, skills, and values, and empowering individuals and to thrive academically, socially, professionally, ultimately enabling them to make some meaningful contribution to the society and create some impact which they can actually value. So again, I think that there are multiple facets of this key area, which actually entails a lot of challenges as well. And the key factors could be the motivations of the students, how effective their study habits are, how much accessible they are to the resources, and a very supportive and learning and enabling environment they have been provided. So educators and institutions can address these common challenges by giving them counseling services, academic support program, and actually fostering that sort of culture which we are talking about. So and offering constructive feedback, is another key, and both parties should be open to this sort of constructive feedbacks, which can actually be very beneficial for both ends, even the students and the institution. So, for instance, a study was conducted by this National Center for Students and Education and found that those students who have actually participated in the mentorship programs offered by their institutions were actually performing better than those who didn't get a chance to enroll themselves in these sort of programs. So again, a lot of there is a common practice now happening these days. A lot of universities are adopting these sort of methodologies while adopting a peer programming, peer mentoring program where they actually pair, a senior student with a very fresh incoming student for the rest of 4 years program. And this actually gives them a kind of holistic view of what is happening in the institution, how they can have, multiple kind of information about the institution, the culture, and how they can actually excel and grow. So, and it actually also leads to, higher retention rates and improve academic performances. So by the end of the day, student success is not just an academic success; it is an overall package, an overall depiction of an individual while having these 4 years of their degree program.
Well, very right, very right. You're absolutely right when you are explaining that it's actually a wholesome package that should be offered to the academia, to the students for their well-being, particularly. Well, sir, I would also like to know that what, in your opinion, how do you look at the things that how do different teaching methods and these different pedagogical approaches these impact the student's success, and what innovative strategies can be employed to cater these diverse learning needs and preferences? As you know that these days our students, they are multi-talented. It's really difficult to satisfy them. So how do you look at these?
So I think this is the most critical area of any higher education institution in Pakistan, because teaching methods and pedagogical approaches have a very significant impact on student success, right? So effective strategies include catering to a diverse learning styles and experiences, making content very engaging and relevant, promoting critical thinking, innovative approaches, may involve adaptive learning platforms and personalized learning experiences, which could be tailored for like individuals depending on their needs. I'll be very blunt about this, because every individual has a different mindset, different approach, and different methods of learning stuff. So you cannot generalize a single method for the whole class or the whole batch. For example, I'll ask the question through this forum that do you think that the graduating badge actually know how to present themselves in the job market, how to apply, how to start their own business, how to actually write a resume? Do they really know about what is ATS? What to prepare for an interview or a business meeting? Stuff like that. So again, coming back to ATS is the application tracking system, which mostly graduates don't know about it. And whenever they are applying for any job in a multinational companies in Pakistan and abroad, so their resumes actually get shortlisted through these ATS, because they are not using appropriate keywords, the buzzwords, the readable fonts, the file format, appropriate length, and stuff like that. So this is one of the petty example of inculcating these sort of pedagogical approaches in the classrooms. So again, coming back to the actual methodologies, when I was in my undergraduations, there weren't any further, I mean, different options of how the teacher was interacting in the classroom. There was just one single approach where teacher is coming in the classroom, interacting, showing us some slides, interacting with the students, asking some questions by the end of the lecture, taking some quizzes, and that's it. So but now I'm observing that there are different methodologies which have been adopted, and the degree awarding institutions are actually working on this direction. So they have introduced a flipped classroom approach. They have also make project based interactions, group discussions, stuff like that. So I think again, very important and critical area to actually tweak the conventional sort of methodologies, and we have to look at the West, how they are adopting new strategies, bringing innovation in the current classroom setups, and how we can actually learn from them and implement those strategies in our higher education is very important.
Exactly. When you were just talking about your own experience of the school related to the teaching methodology, I also recalled mine. I used to remember that how the teachers they come to the classroom, typical GTM method, that grammar translation method that is to be followed. A student with good vocals in the classroom is supposed to read aloud, and the teacher provides the explanation either in Urdu or in extension. So you're very right that innovative strategies according to the current time and tide is really very important to be integrated in our educational system. Well, sir, I would really, like you to talk about some sort of, cultural and this socioeconomic factors. So what do you think that what role do cultural, socioeconomic and this demographic factors they play in shaping the student success as our focus is the student? So and what policies can we educational institutions implement in order to promote this equity and this inclusion thing? What's your opinion about it?
Thank you so much for bringing this up, Nusrat. It is again a very drastic kind of impact on student success and their experience throughout their journey. So, socio-economic, cultural, and demographic factors are actually influencing the student success in the education institutes, because it actually brings a lot of diversity and inclusion, and they brings a different mindsets and different perspectives on one in one room. So it is again very important. I can give you an example that some of the local universities are actually working in this direction. They are investing their funds into bringing diverse talent from across Pakistan to their institutions, just to have a flavor of what is happening at the other end of Pakistan. What are the perspective of people in the Gilgit Baltistan, and how the people of Balochistan think about higher education? What are their challenges? What are their opportunities? And how you can actually bring all this flavor into one experience? How you can bring everyone into one room and create a synergy between them, through which people can actually learn about a lot of stuff. So again, a lot of international universities are also working in this direction. We need to look at them as well. And of course there are now, I'm really glad to share this, that we do have local examples of the universities which are actually working in this direction. So bringing and implementing this sort of approach by providing maybe scholarships, implementing equity focused policies to bridge actually these sort of disparities, creating an inclusive and supportive campus environment for I'll call underprivileged people who are coming from these sort of backgrounds, with where they don't have access to the resources they actually need to excel in their life. So bringing that will actually give a benefit to all the stakeholders, to those who are already in that sort of privileged settings, and those who are coming from these sort of backgrounds. They can create miracles together, because again it's all about different perspective. It's all about collaborative learning approach, so which is again very important. So yes, I think that's another very key area for on student success.
Exactly, exactly. So, in fact, the policies are really very important. There should be something for the integration of all these cultural values or these demographic factors that, in fact, play a very vital role for the student success. Okay. I'm really eager to know about this. As this is the time when AI is at its peak. So, what's your opinion about it? That how technology and this digital learning tools can be leveraged to enhance the student success that we are just talking about, and what ethical considerations you think should be kept in mind in all this scenario in this technological era of the education? How you look at it?
Well said, Nuzat, that we are living in a digital age actually. And I would like to actually share this with you, that this is exactly the era which we envision in our childhood. We looked in the movies that things will be happening that way, and AI will be it's going to be all over the place, and we are actually finding ourselves in that particular timeline. So again, there are opportunities and there are challenges as well. So I'll start with the opportunities that. Technology and digital tools are again very pivotal for enhancing student success. They provide opportunities for personalized learning, remote access to educational resources and collaboration. However, the ethical considerations such as privacy, equitable access, must be carefully addressed to ensure fair and inclusive education. I would like to give an example of ChatGPT. I think every undergrad student right now is somehow very well aware of this platform, and they are using it very well. So the point is, either these sort of tools are actually enhancing their capabilities or actually taking away the existing skill set from them. So there is a very thin line between it. And the students must be cognizant and very much aware of the fact that these tools are actually to support what they are actually doing in their life, not totally dependent, not totally to become dependent on them and totally rely on them, and losing their own intellectual through these platforms. So we have to be very careful when we are talking about as the institutions, that how we can ensure that the plagiarism must be checked. The right sort of tone should be set for the students to what extent they should be using these platforms and technologies, and how the universities can actually ensure that the assignments which have been produced, or whatever related material through the student ends have been produced are actually their own content. So this is again very challenging for universities as well. But I think this mindset has to be created and inculcated in students, that these tools should be adopted as sort of bringing quality to their existing intellectual, rather than losing whatever they had already and totally relying on these tools, and writing the write me an answer to this question, and just copy pasting the whole thing from there, and submitting to the instructor, is not going to help at all. So again, a mindset of the students need to be devised in a manner that these tools should be used ethically and very critically to actually excel in what they are already doing. Also, now they are very open source courses available, platforms available for online learning. I can give an example. Let's say Khan Academy is a not for profit educational platform providing free resources and tutorials, and ensuring that students from various backgrounds had access to the quality of education. Again, we have Coursera. They offer multiple financial aid. They offer free of cost courses online. Then we have edX. We have Howard. I mean, there are a lot of platforms. In fact, now we do have our local platforms, which are actually in a very initial phase, but we are actually working in this direction. Recently, 13 universities have collaborated together for developing online courses, which would be available for every university in Pakistan. More than 230 universities in Pakistan will be actually teaching these online courses to every individual inducting in these institutions. So I think we are in the very right direction, but a right tone, a better sort of awareness, and specific mindsets for adopting these technologies should be a mechanism should be there to ensure everything is smooth.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, in this modern DG world, we need to create a balance between a human and a machine, a memory and a software. Very right. Well, sir, so you have extensively talked about this, There are these different factors, including the teaching methodologies and these cultural integration. There is one another very important factor for the wholesome personality of a student, and that are the civic sense in the students, the moralities. What do you think that how universities and different colleges, they can effectively measure and recognize students' non-academic achievements and contributions to their communities as important components of the student success, particularly in order to foster a sense of civic responsibility and community engagement among students, which of course is the need of the time. So what's your opinion about it?
Well, Nuzat, I think this is the most thing which actually create a lot of impact in the student success and how they are going to shape themselves as an individual for the society is this metrics to evaluate themselves and create and inculcate civic sense and being responsible as a citizen of the society is very important. Nothing parallel to this. So student success actually goes beyond academic metric, and it can be actually measured and assessed holistically by considering these areas, including the personal growth, the leadership skills, the well-being, development of lifelong learning skills. The institution may use surveys, self-assessment tools, and of course, the very important thing is alumni success stories. To actually gauge the impact on their students. So a lot of, again, I'll give some of the local examples and I'll give some of the examples from the West. So Stanford University's Life Works, it's a Life Work. It's called a Life Works program. Is actually focuses on students' holistic development. They assess student well-being through surveys, and they offer resources for stress management and career planning. And by doing so, they help students thrive both academically and personally. So, and again, if we talk about this civic sense and things around that. So my last employer was a public sector university, and there was a mandatory 30 contact hours which they have to serve in the community. It could be with any NGO, it could be with any community support, any community work they can actually provide during their 4-year degree program, and that was a mandatory requirement for acquiring their final transcript and the degree. So I think these sort of programs should be embedded in the programs on and off, rather than making it very much compulsory and part of their what you can call the curriculum, right? So again, these sort of engagements, I would like to share my example here. When I was doing my undergrad, my university was very much engaged in these sort of activities where we collaborate with a lot of NGOs. We conducted fundraising programs. We participated in a lot of theoretical frameworks, mechanisms. We performed a lot of dramatical. We performed in a lot of dramatical events. That was all around creating civic sense, that how being an individual I can play my part in giving back to the society. So it's all about creating a sense of realization in the individuals that there is part of responsibility on you. You have done what you have done in life. You have become what you have become. You are a successful person now. You are a successful professional now. But there is a moral obligation on you to return something back to the community. Either you teach some underprivileged students, either you raise funds for some NGOs or shelters or individuals working in these directions, or maybe a small act of something which can actually make some impact. And it doesn't matter how big the impact was, how minute the impact was, but by the end of the day there has to be some impact. So as an individual, I think the onus of this lies on the students more than the institutions. So the institution can provide them direction, But adopting that framework, adopting that mindset, and working in that direction, so the onus is will remain always on the individual, how they contribute towards the community. And this is very important. Trust me, you cannot become a full-fledged kind of successful person if you don't have that sort of sense in yourself, and the realization that there is some responsibility on you to give back to the community. So I'll take a pause here.
Aha, that's that act. In fact, the way you have explained it, that where is our role in society, and to question ourselves and to play our role. You're absolutely right. I really personally enjoyed this session as well, and I hope that this session was equally productive and informative for all those who are listening and tuning to FM 101.8.
Sorry to interrupt you here. I would like to share my 2 cents on before
Sure, please.
part. So I would like to use this platform to give my message to all the youngsters out there, all the young minds who are actually preparing themselves for the upcoming life, for the arduous task lying ahead of them. So remember two models which I actually applied on myself, and they really worked. So the model number one is the grow model. In the grow model, you actually G is for the goals. So you set some goals when when you are in your student life. You set some goals for your life. It could be short-term goals, it could be long-term goals, where they see themselves right after their graduation, and where they see themselves at least 10 years ahead of their professional life. So there has to be some sort of some goals, where some checkpoints, some milestones which they can actually realize and measure the success, being an individual. Then the R stands for the reality, which is the situation. So the reality check, they have to pinch themselves and to have the feeling that where they are right now and where they want to reach, and what would be the things required to get there. Then there are some, the O stands for the options. So the available options they have right now, and the available options they will have in the future. And then the W stands for the work plan, the plan of action, how to execute that goal, their options, and how to get there. So this is one grow model. The other one, the other model, we call it MA model. It actually is MAA. So the MAA model is, M is for the means. What means do you have? What resources do you have? What tools do you have? How much access to different sort of repositories you have? Access to information, access to quality education, access to whatever you require. And then there is A is for ability, the ability of the individual to assessing themselves where they are right now, and in what direction they need to excel themselves, groom themselves, learn more, and stuff like that. And then the last A is for the accountability. It's the self accountability approach, where you actually hold accountable yourself if you are not following that track. If you make a mistake, you held yourself accountable. If you are not following the plan of action, you hold accountable yourself. So stuff like that. These are the two very successful models. I think that would be very helpful for the students.
Exactly. I too find these two models quite perfect. Well, sir, thank you so much for being with us here in UW Guests. We are really honored that you have taken the time out of your busy schedule. And we really owe you thanks, a big thanks. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure, while interacting with the students of University of Va. And again, very humble thanks from my end.
All right. Have a good day, sir. My listeners, thank you so much. This is me, Nuzhat Nawaz, signing off from FM 101.8. Stay tuned. Stay with us.